The Witko podcast, episode number 2. Johnny, how are you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. And
That's
for the
good.
first story today, let me tell you, there's this company, Pepsi. We all know Pepsi, right?
Yes, the number one competitor of Coca-Cola.
And when
That's
we
right.
think of Pepsi, Coca-Cola, what do we think of? What kind of drink is it? What's one of the ingredients? What does it do?
Well, it's caffeinated.
Yes.
That's the given. It's a
So
known.
what would be the
Has a lot of sugar.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen all those articles that did comparisons. It's a lot of sugar.
Yeah. So America is productive, right? We're a productive society. It's all about go, 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 do, get stuff done. Be the best you can be. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes what happens in these situations, what happens when you're working all day? What goes up? Your stress levels, right?
Okay, yeah.
So if you were these manufacturers...
Make a drink that helps you sleep.
Exactly.
There you go.
Pepsi,
Knock you out.
Pepsi is working on a drink that will help you sleep.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because they're literally going into... They're getting like their last spot, right? They got basically the whole range covered.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got this. And it's like, well, that's basically the last thing they needed to focus on for the most part. There's probably others, but that's like one of the main things that I can think of. And I think it's beneficial, right? We need to chill out sometimes. We're hyped up on energy all day. We need something to help us relax.
Yeah, I mean...
What's another company, non-drink related, that you can think that did a similar thing?
I don't know.
NyQuil released this thing called Z-Quil. And it's literally
It's a
just...
drink?
It's not a drink. It's
Oh.
like this
Oh, yeah.
stuff that you take, but it doesn't have like the NyQuil stuff in it. It just has like a sleep aid. So this is something that's been kind of gaining in popularity, And actually the other day I was chilling at a Wawa looking at all the stuff they have, right? They got all this energy stuff, but then they have stress release stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Wow, we're seeing a big focus on this. And it wasn't like hidden in a corner somewhere. It's right here in the middle of the store. You have masks, hand sanitizer, focus, and then stress relief.
So what's in this stuff? That it's not like melatonin or something,
The
is
Pepsi stuff?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the ingredients here. Pepsi sleep drink.
Okay, the Drift West.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw. Okay.
Drift well. Contains L-theanine.
Oh, I don't know
Theanine.
why I saw Drift Fast.
It's an amino acid.
Drift Fast.
It's an amino acid commonly found in tea leaves.
Okay.
So that's pretty interesting. I think the main focus point that I was aiming for was just...
So it has 200 milligrams of L-theanine.
Theanine or theanine, I don't know.
Theanine. 10% of the daily value of magnesium. Drink up your magnesium, Christian. Then you will drift well. Drift well to sleep. We all need a good sleep.
You know what else helps you drift? Music.
Mm-hmm.
And hip hop is a very popular genre these days, right? And so is food. Hip hop, food. America loves burgers. So why not combine it? And what do you get, Johnny, when you combined hip hop?
Well, it's been all
Yeah.
over the interweb, the news, everywhere that McDonald's did a collab with a special somebody in the hip hop community.
Travis Scott.
Yes, yes, sir.
So, what do you think about this? Do you think that it's something that
It's hype.
hype? Do you
It's
think
hype.
it's hype?
Yeah, it's hyped up. I saw. Uh, what's his name? No Jumper
Okay.
podcast. He ate one on the podcast,
Yeah.
and literally same exact thing as like a Big Mac or something like that, but it just has like two slices of cheese, one on the top and one of the burger, one on the bottom of the burger patty, or something like that. Some
It may be
minute
hype.
difference.
It may be hype, but I don't think it matters if it's hype. I think that putting an artist on something is not only a good thing for marketing, but a good thing for, exposure for the artist, and that's obviously where it comes in.
Yeah, but they didn't even the no merch, no Travis Scott toy or anything. It's literally just like a
That would be
burger
cool.
with a,
You know
a
what?
extra
Here,
slice of
McDonald's,
cheese and like some bacon.
Yeah, McDonald's, take a tip from us, okay? If you want, make the burger more unique. One, I still gotta try it. Actually, we should probably go to McDonald's and get a Travis Scott
I
burger.
don't know. We'll see.
So, but from what we've heard so far, it doesn't seem very different. So maybe make it a little bit more unique. Add like a, special sauce on there or something like that. And,
Yeah, like this Szechuan from Rick and Morty. Szechuan
no.
sauce. Szechuan, yeah.
And add us like a cool toy or like back in the day they had these things where it was like a little player, and you would like press a button and it would play some music.
Mm-hmm.
Do that kind of stuff.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah. Like, dude, do you remember when cereal boxes actually came with like good stuff? Like, CDs and toys.
There were CDs and
Yeah, like literal games in the cereal box.
I don't remember CDs, but I do remember toys. And those actually buried.
Yeah, like you would have to
It was
dig
buried
it out.
in the cereal.
Yeah.
That's it's a wonder why they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but I mean,
probably
dude,
some kids
it was fun though. It was fun.
this ain't cereal.
It was fun, and you got like good stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think that's something they gotta really focus on if you're gonna release a Travis Scott burger, make it a Travis Scott burger,
Yeah, put some drip on it, Maybe some
Yeah.
edible diamonds or something, or
yeah, and
some
Dude, like imagine that. You got the sauce, it's called drip, because Travis Scott has swag, right?
yeah, he's got the drip.
And then you got the diamonds, right? Which is like this salt stuff, like maybe big pieces of salt.
that would so many chipped teeth.
Yeah, not like no, not like diamond size, but just like let's say it's like gold salt or like some weird colorful salt or something that you put on there. I don't know. All right, so
It's just like those like the Starbucks unicorn drinks or
oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's like people. It's
Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But
it's just like a month for a month.
If
thing.
you're gonna do it, go all out.
Yeah, it's gonna be for a month, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't make it so boring.
One thing that I am super hyped for is I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, right? And he had Tim Dillon on there. I think that's his name. And Tim mentions Joe. He's like, "Hey Joe, would you be willing to have Trump and Biden like talk to you, right? Would you be willing to like moderate something like that or talk to them?"
Mm-hmm.
And Joe said, "Yeah, he would do it if it was like in the podcast studio with no audience and it would have to be live, right?" somewhere along those lines. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, once the media gets a hold of this, once, like, the candidates hear of this, it's going to blow up, right?
Definitely.
I searched it up, it took a while, but once it hit and I saw it, it's everywhere now. Joe Rogan is trending. You got all these stories about it. And I think there's a bigger possibility than ever that something like that will happen. And I think it's going to be very good, because when you watch those debates, what's one thing that you don't like? It's rapid fire. You don't get the whole point. They cut you off. You can't get your whole point. The candidate is literally just trying to get as much out as possible, and you don't have a true long-form discussion. And I think with this podcast, especially with two candidates and someone like Joe Rogan that's good with interviewing, a long-form medium will be able to help these candidates express and debate something in a human way that people can consume. Because for some reason, the media thinks that people are like, have a really short attention span or something, right? And for certain things, I agree that people do. But podcasts are like an anomaly. People are actually able to sit down, listen, and actually absorb stuff. And why is that? Well, you can watch if you want, like the video, but a lot of people take the podcast and either listen in their car or put it in their pocket. So in that way, with a live broadcast, not edited, super focused with, Joe, Trump, Biden in a room, they'll be able to actually have a real discussion. And I think a lot of people will be able to make an educated decision. No matter what your side is or whatever, if you have two people and they're talking and debating in a way that's not rushed, not edited, I think that's a benefit. And I think a lot of good things could come out of something like this.
So he's just going to be somebody.
It seems like he's going to prepare
like the
for
normal live televised debates, or
No.
they're going to be in
This
like
is gonna be in
his studio.
studio on his podcast.
Oh, it's going to be on his podcast. Okay,
and
that's cool.
It's going to be like just the normal podcast, but with Trump and Biden. I think
You're going to have to separate the two a little bit.
I mean,
one on the other end and the...
we would hope that they would be able to have a civilized discussion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I'm stoked to tune into that.
Yeah,
That'll be something else to see.
yeah.
Yeah. So when is that gonna?
Oh, this is all fresh. This is
so this is all up in the air.
Don't know. This is literally.
But it's gonna happen.
This is what's. I mean,
they're trying to make it happen. Trump is down for it. He said.
Yeah,
we didn't get an answer from Biden yet.
Not yet, no. And I think it should happen, and I think it's healthy for it to happen.
Yeah,
this is like super new, super fresh, and another story that's.
So who's this guy that contacted Joe?
Oh, so what happened was that Joe had a guest, Tim Dillon, I think his name is.
Yeah, what does he do? Who is he?
I think he was in the military, and he's also a comedian. No, not a comedian. Sorry. He was a military guy, and he's also an MMA fighter.
What does he have to do with? He knows people?
No, he tweeted it out. He tweeted out after the podcast what they talked about, and then Trump's.
Well,
so he said,
does he follow Trump? Trump follows him. What?
Well, so the tweet must have got
so
viral or whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, it said exactly what they were talking about the podcast, and basically, Tim said something along the lines like, "Who would want to do this, right? Who's up for this?" And Trump said, "I'll do it," And then it just blew up from there, like even more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. Hey, I guess. Hey, maybe he's a fan. Maybe he watches Joe Rogan podcast from here time to time.
I mean, I just think. That,
why else would he?
I just think that someone like Joe Rogan and having having that concept brought up to you, I think it's something that candidates wanted to do for a long time. I think they were all sick of that limit, saying like, "Oh,
It's
you need to
almost
stop
like
talking, to stop getting your thoughts out."
it's almost like getting down, like stepping down from the pedestal, type deal, where it's like not like, oh, this official live TV type thing. It's like, yeah, you're just in a
It's not even that.
guy's studio, podcast studio, and
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
kind of just getting kind of more. I mean, as down to
it's
earth
gonna
as
be
you possibly can
superhuman,
be as
right?
a presidential president, and being, going as another term for a presidential
Yeah, I think he could definitely
term.
bring up some, you know, some interesting discussions just because they're out of this like really stressful environment. I think a place like the Joe Rogan podcast can really help people like chill out.
Unwind, really get your mind off things.
Yeah. Um, so another
Or really get your mind on things.
So another story that's really evolving right now is, there was this whole thing with Microsoft wanting to buy TikTok and the deadline for the 20th, right? And it seems like Microsoft's offer was rejected, and Oracle has confirmed a deal with TikTok. And
Who?
Oracle, I think, is responsible for Java.
They're American owned.
Yeah. And
So what's that?
obviously, yeah, because the whole point was to get an American company.
Yeah, but what's the deal? So TikTok, they don't like Microsoft, they like the Oracle.
So here's the thing. Here's what's weird about this.
I'm sure Microsoft has the
This
money.
wouldn't be like an. Apparently, I don't know what's going on here, and I don't even know if the government would like this. But apparently, it wouldn't be an outright sale. And it would be more like it would be more like a trusted partner. That's what this article here is saying.
Really?
Yeah, and like who knows how that will go down.
Well, then how's that going to work with the still not getting banned?
Yeah, so I mean,
I would think they would still get banned if it's not like a full
well, the whole thing
ownership.
was like Trump wanted the company to be bought. So who knows?
Yeah, but will Oracle have full say over everything?
That's the problem. I think
full control.
TikTok is trying to get around this and be like, hey, look, we have a trusted partner. What do you think of this deal? Right?
Oh, they're trying to get it their way.
Yeah, and I don't know how this will go, And, I'm on TikTok. I like TikTok. All this news, is a little bit strange. But obviously, we want a platform to improve. We want it to be something that people aren't afraid to use, that they agree with, right? So I really hope this goes well so we don't lose a platform, right?
Didn't you mention somebody else trying to create something like TikTok?
Yeah, Instagram Reels is a competitor.
That's already out?
I think so, in some form. And also Byte by the creator of Vine. But I think Reels is the one that really would have the big shot, if I were to guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so I the coolest thing about TikTok is their algorithm, right? So and I think when it comes to the biggest platforms right now, video platforms, YouTube and TikTok, I really think they could both learn from each other.
Spread the love.
And I think that, YouTube is kind of wanting to work on a short form video solution. They are working on something called this is just a rumor. YouTube Shorts. Right now they have YouTube Stories, and if you post a video that's 59 seconds long, it seems like they're prioritizing the video. So you upload it, and it shows up, in its own little section, prioritized, and like they're definitely pushing shorter video, which was completely unexpected, right? But now because TikTok is kind of bringing back the short form video thing, it's becoming a more relevant format again. Obviously, you have formats like we're doing now, long form podcasts and all that people are really seeming to enjoy. But sometimes you just want to, have that slot machine type thing that we were talking about yesterday and just scroll through a bunch of videos, So that's kind of what YouTube is working on, and a bunch of other companies are working on, and it's going to be really fun to see where all this goes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more innovative features companies shelling out, the more of a chance that people are going to get hooked on it and stay with that, platform.
Yeah. What movie would be fun to watch?
What?
Remember Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah, there's a new one now.
Yeah, they have the new one.
Yeah.
And it has, my favorite aspects, which is time travel in it.
Yeah.
And, of course, it has, really good actors.
Keanu Reeves.
Just that comedy aspect of it.
Hell yeah.
And, I really want to... They have the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I think they have it actually free on YouTube right now.
The new one?
No, the old one.
Oh, the old one, yeah. Oh, yeah, if you want to refresh your memories.
Yeah, it'd be cool to watch that. Just to see... to watch that and then to watch... I'm trying to get my slipper back on.
I'm like, what are you doing over there creaking a storm?
So,
oh boy.
Watching the old one and then watching the new one. And I was super focused too, getting the slipper. It was like one of those machines where you go to get the toy.
Oh, yeah. And you just never get it. Never won.
Yeah.
But you won, didn't you?
What?
You won. You won your slipper.
I did won.
You did won?
I won.
You won up the slipper.
I won the slipper back. Yeah. So that'd be a cool thing to definitely watch for nostalgia purposes for the old one, and then the new one to see how they kind of continue that story.
Yeah, I'm down to see it. Yeah. I wasn't really trying to shell out $24.99 to watch it once, but we'll see. Hey, support the cause.
You know whose album is coming out soon?
Who?
Machine Gun Kelly's album.
Okay.
I really can't wait to hear this thing.
You think it's just gonna be all alternative?
Yeah, it's gonna be a rock album. It's gonna be a punk pop. It's pop punk.
It's punk Tupac.
Pop punk
coming at your door.
It's gonna be pop punk. It's gonna be rock. And I really can't wait to hear the songs that I've heard so far are really good, and I really think it's gonna bring pop punk back to the mainstream, and that's what Machine Gun Kelly wants.
No, yeah,
it sounds good.
I love it.
Travis Barker on drums. Machine Gun Kelly does a great job with the vocals and the guitar.
Yeah.
And
very talented.
Yeah.
And can do a lot of things.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an actor, rapper, guitar player, rock star.
Yeah, he was in that. Not for very long, just a couple of scenes, but he was in that movie that we watched.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called, but it was the pill, the drug that gave you superpowers for 5-10 minutes or 15.
Yeah.
He was in that. He was the dealer dealing out those superpower pills. Drugs.
Yeah, he's showing up in a few things.
Yeah. That was a really good movie with Dirt. There was the Motley Crue.
Oh yeah. He did a great job on that one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was what it was called, right? Dirt.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a movie about Motley Crue. They did a great job with that one. I enjoyed that movie. Any movies where you get to see what happened in real life. Like, I love biopics. That's like one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, it was Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah,
Steve-O actually just did a podcast with Tommy Lee.
oh, cool.
He's, when Steve-O was younger, he actually met Tommy Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, they've stayed in contact. And now he's on his podcast.
That's awesome. Hey, he's just making that library bigger of awesome people that he's, put on the podcast.
A cool thing that Machine Gun Kelly said, he said that he wants this to be like an album that like is in people's memories. So like when you think of a certain time, you think of this album. So that's why he didn't want to release it kind of earlier. He wanted to release it like in the summer, in the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the summer, into fall.
Yeah. So what happened was because of this whole world situation, they postponed it because he didn't want, bad vibes to come up in people's memories. He wants good vibes, so he wanted to wait a little bit, push it back,
let people suffer a little bit,
get the good vibes going.
I just looked up this cool thing about Steam.
Yeah.
Who's, the platform that sells games. And it says here, how much would it cost to purchase everything on Steam at once?
Oh, snap.
Guess.
I'm guessing for some reason, it's probably higher than this, but for some reason I'm guessing 32 million. Not even close. Right?
That's like
nothing.
So over. So
over?
Yeah.
Over?
Yeah. Per the most recent update on September 13th, you'll need to shell out $521,909.63.
What? I thought it'd be way more.
Yeah, just
That's
half a million. You can have every game,
dude,
on Steam.
That's weird, man. I thought it would have been way more.
That's not bad.
That isn't bad.
Not bad. That's a
deal.
deal.
For every game on Steam?
That's a deal.
I thought it was going to be way more, dude. That's weird.
Somebody like Shroud or Ninja or Summit could just buy all the games.
Yeah.
They make that in like half a year.
For them, it'd be an investment.
Yeah. It's like every day, new game. It's like for a month. Well, no, you'd probably have more than 30 games. Well, so you'd play maybe just for a couple hours, so you can go through multiple games a day. Just like binge, like obviously not finish them, just play. Get a good few rounds in or a few campaigns.
I don't think you'd be able to play all the games, but you would have a lot to choose from. That's for sure.
Just play them all.
So I've noticed one thing. So we were talking about rock with the Machine Gun Kelly, but I'm noticing a big thing making a comeback here, and that's
Travis Scott burgers.
No, that's the '80s sound. It's not only in music; it's in clothing styles as well. We see it all over the place.
It's like The
Weeknd.
Merry-go-round.
Miley Cyrus, her new
Back
song,
in the cycle.
Midnight Sky.
Yeah.
You see it everywhere. Literally, this '80s sound. It's awesome. And then you have shows
great time, I guess. Maybe.
What?
It looked like a great time.
And then you have shows like Stranger Things, kind of again pushing that '80s vibe. And so the thing is, every few decades you're gonna have like this nostalgia thing come back, because the people from, even if you weren't born in that generation, like you have things that kind of are left behind that you know of, or that your parents told you, or that or that even your parents, they get to be nostalgic about it. So there's a time for all this stuff to come back. And from what I understand, the 80s were a time of excess, So, excess.
Excess.
Excess. Yeah.
Excess.
I don't know why.
Of what?
Right now. So everything, right?
Oh,
so
just
looking
too
awesome,
much of everything.
spending money, getting everything that just buying a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it was just the time of that, and like you could see it in the music, you could see it in the fashion, you could see it in the movies, and I guess people just want to feel good. So this is like this feel good type music that's making a comeback. You know?
That's what we need. We need that nowadays,
Yeah, I
especially
think there's definitely a
during these
beneficial
situations.
aspect to certain genres, and if you want to feel good, throw on some '80s type vibes. You'll feel good. You won't be able to stop tapping your feet.
Yeah, we need to see what we could do with the '80s sound modernized.
Oh yeah, that's the core thing. The production just goes up, right? So you got the cool '80s vibe with like implementations from modern times, and then the sound quality and the production and all that stuff through the roof.
Yeah, you got all these devices,
Yeah,
new technologies that just amp up the production
because '80s
quality.
music was like some of it was like had like this electronic sound to it, so it kind of goes with like the
I don't know if that was '90s.
yeah, that was more like a '90s thing.
'90s.
Um, yeah, so '80s making a comeback, good vibes all around, and another thing that's around the corner, and we're actually going to be having a similar actor, and we're talking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Who do you think of when you think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Who do I think
Yeah.
when I say that? When you say that?
Hopefully I say his name right. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves, yeah.
I said his name like
Yeah.
a while ago.
So, Matrix 4.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. Are you hyped? That was like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what they do with that. That should be
I really hope they don't mess it up.
should be cool.
Because, like,
We'll see. I mean,
I liked, like, the first
how bad can it get?
Matrix movie and, like, some of the ones after that, but then it was like, what are you doing now? Like, it was just got weird at a certain point. And I think the reason I might need to rewatch it so I can really absorb everything. But I think the reason why I had a problem with like the later movies is because they got out of the Matrix and they didn't focus on the Matrix as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At least it seemed like it. And for some reason, I like that going in and out of the Matrix thing. And I think I don't know if they did this because again I need to rewatch the movies and really grasp the story. But I think, and I apologize if they already did something like this, but I think if they really focus more on like taking more people out of the Matrix, right, and into the real world or whatever, and like really showing people's struggles, and like I know the guy in the first movie, he wanted to go back. He's like, put me back into the Matrix, make me rich, whatever, and I'll be cool, Like that's what he wanted to do. I would like to see more people kind of struggle with that, like going into the Matrix, coming out of it, like learning how to adapt in the real world. And I know they played with that, and I know they did a lot of it, and I don't remember much, after like the first Matrix movie. I know I think Matrix Reloaded it was called, and then I saw some of the others, but it was a long time ago. So I have to rewatch them. Maybe they already did some of that stuff, but I think if in this movie, I think they could play with a lot. And actually, they could relate it to a lot of the issues that we have now, like we were talking yesterday with like technology addiction and stuff, which is the real Matrix.
It's the growing Matrix.
Yeah. We are living in the Matrix.
Yes, we are.
It is very interesting.
What is that called? The 0100 binary?
Binary code, yeah.
Binary code.
They found strings of it in the universe.
Yeah. We're all binary code.
Yeah, and you know, again, pros and cons of technology, and I mean, overall, I think it's a beautiful thing. What's so funny about
Justin Bieber's mustache. I'm like going through
it?
music news on
He
Billboard.
he shaved that off. I think because he just did a music video for Drake.
DJ Khaled,
Yeah, DJ
Drake,
Khaled.
and Drake.
Drake.
Yeah, that's a funny mustache. I mean, it just doesn't.
Don't hate on Justin Bieber, dude.
No, no. It's as in it's just like he can make it work, but it just yeah, no, it's like that 80s kind of
Yeah, well, exactly.
what do you call it? The guy in the helicopter. Uh
I mean, when I think of 80s, like, I kind of think of, like, Dr. Disrespect kind of stuff. He even plays 80s music, right?
or you know what? That might have been I remember in Poland that would play all the time. Literally all the time. Just a Magnum. Magnum PI. That's funny. Do you remember that? Magnum PI?
Not really.
Look it up. Magnum PI with the guy with the mustache. Yeah. Those were the days seeing that. Not in the 80s, me in the 80s, but
Oh,
it running
hey,
on television.
again, this is like Dr. Disrespect has a mullet, but this is kind of like
Yeah.
this guy. You know?
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, it's like that 80s cop mustache.
Oh, it's a similar car too. Look, scroll down.
Car?
Similar car.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if it's the same or it's red. Doctor's Respect shows like in the beginning of his streams the preview with the lightning and the gas station and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, maybe that's...
Maybe this is an inspiration.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, dude, look, go down. You'll see a picture of this Magnum PI
Yeah, is it a
guy
Ferrari or something?
sitting in the car. Do you see that? If you go down, like 1, 2, 3, 4 scrolls, you'll see him. That it says. You'll see a thing that says CBS developing Magnum PI reboot, and then you'll see a picture of the guy sitting in a car. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That like looks like Doctor Disrespect right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. There you go. That's what he was going for.
You got anything else? You got any stories you wanna talk about?
I just find it interesting that we're finding out that more planets are life sustaining. You know, now we know Venus
Yeah.
has life, and this is like accurate, proven. Like they still have to do some tests or something.
Yeah. So what this is all about is like we focus so much on Mars, right?
Mm-hmm.
That and don't get me wrong, the Russians sent like probes to Venus and all this stuff, but we focus so much on Mars that we kind of forgot about Venus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but we're not putting a lot of attention to it. So like, it's so like toxic and acidic on Venus, and like the gravity is so intense that like when you put probes on that planet, they just get like crushed. So like, where it gets less intense is up in the sky, right? So like here in the Earth, we actually have microbes and stuff, little creatures flying around, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not flying, but like floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing here is thought to be happening in Venus, right? So whatever they found, I don't know exactly, I think that's what it would be, like a life form kind of floating around up in the sky there.
So then we could, once we get propulsion technology down,
Well, we would have
we
to
can
get something
create
that
floating cities in
yeah,
Venus.
I mean, again, it's so like toxic there and the gravity is so strong. Like it would have to be like something super strong, something that could have like a greenhouse type of, I mean, not greenhouse, but like something that could shield us from like the toxic things of Venus. I don't know.
It already terraformed and everything.
Terraforming
Is
is
when the planet's
having
creating,
things
right?
growing and stuff. No, dude, Venus is like a dead planet, man.
Well, clearly not. There's life
Well, I
in it.
mean, this is up in the sky. So up in the sky, you got all
But
these
it's
little.
within its atmosphere, right?
I don't know the details about Venus's atmosphere, but I'm sure it should have one. Let's see.
It's pretty crazy though.
It is. It's very interesting. That was big news.
Alien life. But how do they know this? Is this just readings of
They
like
saw
technology, like
something.
electronics going by there, like probes,
So
or they
Venus.
actually found like a sample that brought back to Earth?
I don't think it's a sample. Venus's atmosphere consists of mainly carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid droplets. The thick atmosphere traps the sun's heat, resulting in surface temperatures higher than 880 degrees. So, let's see. Okay. Astronomers find possible sign of life on Venus. Traces of rare molecule known as phosphine have been found in the heavily acidic atmosphere of Venus. Oh, astronomers announced Monday. So yeah, so it was in the atmosphere, and it's this phosphine stuff. Let's see. Oh, and here it says phosphine molecules found on Earth are primarily a result of human industry or the actions of microbes that thrive in oxygen-free environments. That's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oxygen-free environment. So that just shows you how toxic Venus is. But it also shows you extremophiles, or acidophiles, as these things are called. These things thrive in places that we could never even imagine. So that brings up a good topic. Where are we not looking where life can thrive? Like, are we missing something right in front of our eyes?
Possibly.
Like,
I mean, look at we barely touched the ocean.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we've explored more of space than we have the ocean.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Dude, like,
I know. I don't
when I
want to be
say
down
explore, like research, right? Explore research. So it's like, what is down deep in the ocean that we have no clue about, and that's like super weird. I mean, there's some weird looking creatures down there.
there. Yeah, that definitely look like something in the Alien movies.
Yeah.
Crazy looking creatures. I mean, yeah, it's a different world down there. No
And
light.
it's weird. I always think of this, right? Like you can downplay topics, but why downplay them? Downplay them when you can be amazed by it. So like, I sometimes think, oh, dude, the ocean is just a body of water. What's the big deal? But that's just me saying that because I'm thinking about it in a weird way. I'm thinking of it like a puddle. Like, I've always been interested in the ocean. I always think it's amazing. I've always been interested in fish. And, like, it's this whole different world. And then I ask myself, why am I interested in it? Why? And then that's where that thought comes from. Oh, it's just a puddle. Why are you interested in it?
It's calling.
Well, it's
calling out to
interesting
you.
because the creatures down there live in such a different way. It's such a different environment. For us, it's like going to a different country or like trying to live underground or going to an airplane and going up into the sky. So you have all these creatures living this weird life and these smart beings like dolphins and whales, and their intelligence, like they're super intelligent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like we think, and Joe Rogan has mentioned this, like, oh yeah, just because you can't walk and like build something or talk English or whatever, people think they're dumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
These dolphins. but they speak their own language. And like, what if these things are so smart and they like display intelligence in like a completely different way, where they're like communicating to each other, and like they figured out like world peace or ocean peace in a sense, where they have this like,
They
and
have
I'm
an
just,
ocean kingdom, Atlantis.
yeah, and they're just like chilling and vibing and stuff, and have this total. They could have this total emotional intelligence of like this dolphin world, and like, because you see dolphins and like whales interacting with fish. I mean, not with fish, with humans,
Mm-hmm.
and
Even in some cases saved humans.
yeah.
Some human
So
lives.
like, what can these things do? What do they know? And the thing that's interesting to me is, how can we find out? How can we find out what they're saying? Like, I can't wait for that.
Technology, probably in due time, might be able to detect some kind of brain wavelengths or signals or something happening up in there that can translate it through some kind of, like you got the lie detectors, right? Well, I mean, no, that doesn't. That's really heart rate stuff like that. But like, no, you got like one of those
I mean,
brain.
they have things like Neuralink, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Elon Musk hooked up these machines to pigs, and
Oh yeah, maybe
they go
that
to
could be a
sniff
start.
something, and it goes beep 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 beep, beep, and when they stop sniffing, the beep stops, and they go to sniff beep 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep. So I think we'll eventually get there.
Probably
brings up
translate
this-
soon enough. Something.
Yeah, this brings up this concept that I always think about. It's like you got the dolphins with the machine on their head, and they're like talking like to humans, and they're like really smart.
Yeah.
Like something like that would be super interesting,
knows?
because, like, yeah, I just want to know what their world is like.
That's when new races are gonna be made. There's gonna be like dolphins with robotic legs and translator things to make them able to speak our language.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we could be responsible for alien life. For example, like, we start colonizing another planet, and then there's obviously then going to be Martians, because people are going to be born on Mars, and then they move to another planet, and they're born there, and then years and years of evolution, those humans change because they're on another planet in a different environment. Ta-da, aliens.
Yeah, I could see that happening. It's like the movie. It's like the prequel of the Aliens movie. Alien. It's Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Remember that movie?
I don't think I saw that all the way through.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky. They think they meet their creators.
That was like that documentary style movie?
Almost not really it was still a movie, but Prometheus, they meet their creators, the humans. They meet the creator, supposedly, and the big giant, like, pale dude.
Oh, yeah.
That was like asleep in the spaceship, and they woke him up, or it up, whatever it was, and tried to kill them. And then they soon realized that it was trying to destroy the human race with like a virus, the alien species. Hopefully we don't have any kind of creators trying to do that to us. So who knows? Maybe we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the simulation theory is correct, someone must have created it, and they could be messing around with our lives.
Yeah, let's upload a virus.
Or just watching it go by, like, they messed up. Well.
Eating some popcorn.
And it's like people are making bets, like, what do you think they'll do next? I bet you $100 this will happen.
Mm-hmm. It's like DraftKings, but for our creators are like aliens.
Yeah. Got any other interesting stories?
It's too much to do in one night.
All right, well, I think that's it for tonight, everybody. This was definitely an interesting podcast. It was enjoyable. Lots of cool topics.
Yes, we'll have much more
Yeah, make
in the
sure
days to
to
come.
make sure to contribute in the comments. Tell us what you think. Correct us on any information if we were wrong.
Definitely.
We love to learn. Um,
Yeah, and excuse us for all the poor cable management. We're still trying to figure out how to, make this setup work the best and look the best.
yeah,
So
that'll get better over time.
we're testing everything out. We'll figure it out soon enough. We'll perfect it. The look.
Well, Johnny, it was good talking to you.
Good. Yeah.
Everybody,
Great.
have a good night. Peace out.
Have a good night, everybody. See you on the next one.
Sayonara.